All right, so I wanted to share some thoughts quickly on the DeSean Jackson situation. And this is something that really ticks me off, because I don't necessarily have a problem if you want to share your opinion, no matter what the topic is, even though I think there's certain things that I don't see the other side at all. But if you're very strong in your opinion, you need to be consistent with that. And I have a huge problem right now with what's going on with this DeSean Jackson situation, because you've seen Drew Brees come out and say, essentially, yeah, I'm not fine with people kneeling. I'm not going to kneel. He thinks it's disrespectful. And a lot of players, coaches flipped out about it. You got people like Malcolm Jenkins literally crying on camera. So they were very strong when it comes to that, because the whole claim is fighting against injustice, fighting against racism, which is a good thing. And my stance has always been, two things can be true. You can say that kneeling during the national anthem is not about disrespecting the flag, but that doesn't mean that in some people's thinking that that's not disrespectful. You know, two things can be true. Just because you say it's not for disrespecting the flag doesn't mean that in some people's opinions or in their view it's disrespecting the flag. Like, that's always been my take. Like, you're allowed to think what you want, but understand the reasons why. And I'm not going to boycott the NFL, anything like that. I have family who's that's their thinking, and that's fine. That's what they want to think. I don't agree. But, you know, the whole point was come against racism, stand up to discrimination and all that. DeSean Jackson tweets out a Hitler quote, and I could not find what that exact quote was. I looked for it forever. Any news sources I seen just had the fact that he did it, not what it actually was. So, I don't know necessarily what the quote was, but it's an anti-Semitic tweet, and I'm not hearing anything from these players. Malcolm Jenkins, LeBron, I'm not hearing anything from those guys about this at all. I'm hearing nothing. And it's that kind of stuff that really ticks me off, because it's like, listen, even though I may not agree with you on everything, you're hypocritical. You are a hypocrite. If you say, and you're on camera crying because Drew Brees says that he doesn't agree with kneeling during the national anthem, and you want to make a big deal about that, yet when somebody tweets an anti-Semitic quote from Hitler, and you're quiet, you're not going to say anything, you're a hypocrite. That's my problem with LeBron James. It's not saying he can't do great things or he hasn't done great things, but there's been certain situations where it's like, you know, you want to stand up for this, but like when the whole deal in Hong Kong happened, he knew he was wrong there, and because it affected his pocketbook, he wasn't going to say anything because it affected him personally. So it's stuff like that I can't stand. Like, you're not fighting against what you say you are. You're fighting for attention. It's like, you know, Drew Brees is allowed to have his opinion. So is Malcolm Jenkins. So is Colin Kaepernick. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion in equal on that. But when you make such a big deal about Drew Brees saying, yeah, I don't agree with that, yet somebody tweets something that's a racist, anti-Semitic tweet or quote, and you're silent about that, you're hypocrites. And you know it. You know it. You just don't want to talk about it because it's not going to bring attention to you. It doesn't affect you personally. It's a joke. And this is what I'm so tired about. You know, I don't have any, I don't know, I won't get into it, but I'm really tired of the hypocrisy. And will I watch the NFL? Of course I will. But it's like, people are allowed to have their own opinions. I had somebody who I'm not going to name basically said, if you think, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I won't say it because YouTube will throw a fit. But basically said, if you support this person or this cause, you're racist, sexist, homophobic, the whole list. And I said, no. Look at the actions. Look at not just words said. Look at the actions that have been taken. That would say you're wrong. And basically, this person said, well, you're a white person who's a straight man, you can't have your opinion. Don't you realize that that is sexist? You're saying because of your skin color, because of your gender, you can't have sexuality, you can't have your opinion. So it's stuff like that. Like, you claim that's what you're fighting. No, you are that. You are that. So that's the stuff I can't stand. So should he be fired? No. He should be suspended and get a pretty hefty fine, because the NFL has got to do its part. They've, over the last, month and a half, 2 months, they've basically said, we support fighting injustices and all this, racism. This is that. You can't pick and choose which injustices and, racism you want to fight. This is that. So if you say you're taking this stand and all, do something about it. The Eagles need to suspend him, or, the NFL needs to suspend him and get a fine. I don't think he should be fired, but I'm more lenient than a lot of people. I think people deserve second chances, but be consistent. Don't say one thing and only mean it when it affects you in a certain way. I hate that. I hate that so much. And there's so many people who do that daily. I've seen people who claim to be fighting racism calling black people or other minorities, N-words with hard R's because they disagree with you politically or whatever. And by the way, it's not from the right either. It's people who are liberals left who claim to be the social justice warriors fighting for equality, who are the first to go to those measures. And it's horrible. And I'm so tired of the hypocrisy, not just in sports, not just in politics, just in general. It's like, if you're gonna say something, mean it, and don't mean it just in the moment. Mean it 24/7. And that's not saying you can't change your opinion and all, but cases like this, like, we gotta take this stuff seriously. And if you're gonna pick and choose on what you're going to stand up for, you're wrong. You're wrong. So, all right, enough of me. See you in the next video. Bye.